So why we are going to Power BI, and what is the visualization as an organization? If we take what is a part of visualization in that organization? Okay, so let's take Amazon website as an example, guys. Okay, this is Amazon. So we are buying products from here, and Amazon is selling products to us. So as an organization, what Amazon is doing, they are developing the front end application and providing this to users, and users are buying products from here, and the details of the products and everything will be stored onto some particular database. Okay, so they are maintaining front end application and they are maintaining the back end database. Okay, so in this particular situation, they are not doing any kind of analysis in between these development activities and database activities, front end and back end activities. Okay, so what Power BI will do means it will analyze the business situation. Okay, it will give us the solutions. It will it will take some problems and it will give proper solutions with particular results. Okay, like with proof of conduct. Okay, like for example, this is a proof where this product is getting losses in our organization, so better to remove this product from our organization because we are not getting any profits from there. Okay, this kind of analysis and everything which we are talking right now need to be provided to the business, to the company, to the Amazon. Like an example, like for example, if we have some particular data, to show the data to the Amazon and let them know these are the areas which you people are lagging. Okay, so these kind of analysis, this kind of uh, work which we are going to handle into the Power BI. Okay, so coming to Power BI, coming to visualization, sorry. So we do have so many tools in the market, and they are not that much database friendly. But coming to Power BI, it is a Microsoft tool. Okay, 90% of all the softwares which we are using is belongs to Microsoft. So the Active Directories which we are working on, the organizations, everything will be linked to Microsoft. So it is little bit of user friendly. Okay, so that is why Power BI is growing day by day, and the features, okay, and the updates and everything will be very accurate. Power BI is releasing update every month or every couple of months, and they are improving their tool day by day based on the business requirements. Okay, if, for example, if we are not able to solve particular issue in the Power BI level, when we contact community forums of the Power BI, so they will collect votes from the users, how many users are required this kind of option or this kind of feature into the Power BI. Okay, so if more people are attracted to that option or feature into the Power BI, they are incorporating those features into the Power BI. Okay, the Power BI is working this much of efficient, so we do have good future on the Power BI. Okay, coming to today's class. Okay, this is the Power BI architecture overview. So first, we do have business analytical tools like, for example, Power BI Designer, and Excel. So simply, these are the different data sources. Okay, these are the file level data sources. Like we can take MS Access, Excel, CSV file. Okay, Power BI file, any file it is. Okay, and these are the databases, on-premises databases. On-premises databases means it is physically available in the particular organization, so they are directly maintaining their database at their level. Okay, these are different type of databases. And Microsoft Cloud. Okay, this is Microsoft Cloud database, so which is maintained by Microsoft itself. And this is other than Microsoft clouds, like for example AWS, SAS. Okay, different clouds which we have in the market, Google Cloud and everything. So Power BI is able to connect to all these different data sources, different HTMLs, different web URLs, and SharePoints, any almost all the data source Power BI able to connect and get data from their different data source to Power BI. Okay, and then when after connecting some kind of data to the Power BI, we are doing some kind of analysis, visualizations, and everything, and publishing those reports to the web browser, which is Power BI application. Okay, this is the final step. And after that, we do have Windows, iOS, Android support also into the Power BI. The people can view the reports or dashboards through the mobile, through the iPad, through the desktop, through the any kind of gadget they are using. Okay, They just want to have the access to that organization level. Okay, this is how Power BI will deal the situation. Okay, for example, if we have some data available in the file level and some data available in the on-premises data source, some data available in the cloud, what we are going to do at the situation? Okay, and Power BI itself has a ETL option, like extract, transform, load, extracting data from multiple sources like file system, file level source, and on-premises data source and cloud level data source. Okay, so extracting, getting data from multiple sources and combining them into the Power BI transformations and loading loading the data to the Power BI dashboard. Okay, so Power BI itself, it has a feature. Previously, before Power BI, what it will happen means, for database we need to use SQL Server or any cloud database. For ETL performance activities, we need to use some other tool like SSIS or Informatica or Alteryx. These are the ETL tools which is available in the market. So we need to use these kind of intermediate ETL tools and then combine those three sources data or multiple sources data together and then supply the combined data to the Power BI. So the intermediate one tool need to be involved in between these steps. But Power BI itself, it had an option that it will connect data from multiple sources and it will make a relationship between those sources and perform the visual activities. Okay, we are going to see those steps, how we are going to connect all those things and everything in our Power BI demo class today. Okay, and next point, skills required for Power BI. So while we are working on Power BI, or we got an opportunity on the Power BI in an organization, so what are all the skills we needed for the Power BI? Okay, before learning Power BI, what we need to know? Okay, after learning Power BI, what is the next step of the Power BI? Okay, so we are going to discuss this now. So before learning Power BI means we need to have some kind of understanding how the data will be processed, how the data will be in an Excel or SQL Server. Like for example, if we have some raw data available in the Excel, okay, we need to have minimum knowledge of the analysis of the data. For example, see here, this is an Excel sheet, orders 14 and 15. So let me open this. Okay, so here it is. So this data represents one sales company. For example, if we analyze the columns over here, row ID, order date, ship mode, these are the order details. When order ID, when the order got placed, when the order got shipped, and which mode the order was shipped. It is second, standard, or first class shipping, like that. And the other customer details, it is customer ID, the customer who ordered the ID, and his name, email, city, state, and postal code, region. Okay, these are the customer information, and this is the product information, which product the customer got placed. Okay, this is the product information, product ID, sorry, category of that product, and subcategory of the product, and product name, which product the customer was ordered, and how much the quantity, sale amount, discount, profit we are getting from that particular order. This is the proper way of data analysis. Okay, so we need to have minimum understanding of the data. Okay, how the data is given. Okay, what are all the fields, what are all the attributes available on the data? This much we need to know. Okay, so the data will be present at the same level, whether it is in the SQL Server or whether it is in the other databases, whether it is in the Excel. Everywhere the data will be placed same in a table level. So we need to have minimum knowledge of Excel and intermediate knowledge of SQL Server to process Power BI. To work on Power BI, we need to have minimum knowledge of Excel and minimum knowledge, intermediate knowledge of SQL Server, because we are having more tables in the database level. So sometimes we need to write some queries to join or combine multiple tables together and supply data to the Power BI dashboard. Okay, like this we need to have little bit of Excel and SQL database knowledge and data analysis knowledge before going to Power BI. Okay, and after going to Power BI means after completion of the Power BI, when we are sufficient enough to, we have learned Power BI and we are working good Power BI means we do have so many options in the Power BI like Power Apps, okay, Power Platform and workflows. These are little bit of advanced level to the Power BI. It is into Power BI, but these are the different platforms to the Power BI. Okay, like we can say different modules in the Power BI. Okay, so this is about the architecture and everything, and mainly what is for example Power BI was right now Power BI. Okay, so what we have used before Power BI. Okay, we are doing visualizations and graphs like this reports in Power BI. What we have used till date before Power BI, what we have used means we do have SSRS, SQL Server Reporting Services. Okay, which is come with SQL Server. Okay, it is also a Microsoft tool. Okay, so and Crystal Reporting, which is I think SAP or SAS, and Oracle Business Intelligence, which is Oracle Reporting. So we do have different organizations have their own reporting tools. Okay, so coming to Power BI, it is a Microsoft tool. So a Microsoft reporting service, which is SQL Server Reporting Services. These both are very user friendly. We can convert the SSRS reports to Power BI through Report Builder. Okay, so when we provide some kind of SSRS report to the Report Builder, it will automatically convert that report to Power BI itself. Power BI will have a Report Builder feature, so it will automatically convert. It is only happening with the SSRS, uh, happen between SSRS and Power BI, not with Tableau and Power BI, some other tools. Okay, if we have migration projects like Tableau to Power BI, we need to understand the Tableau first and then develop the fresh copy of the Power BI. Like that. Okay, so this is all about the Power BI background and everything. So let's take you to the small kind of reporting demo. So let me go to my SQL Server. See here, we have 2 years orders placed in SQL Server table. This is SQL Server. Okay, this is a table where we have 2016 and 2017 sales available in this particular table. Okay, and then we do have one Excel sheet, 14 and 15. Okay, so let me, where is this? Okay, 14 and 15. So we have 2 years data in Excel. Okay, 14 15 2014 and 2015 data in Excel file, and 16 17 data in SQL Server. Okay, so when we are working with different sources, how we are going to do these activities and perform a small report in Power BI. We as an organization, we have maintained 2 years data in Excel sheet, that is 2014 and 2015. These 2 years data we have in the Excel sheet, 2015, 14 and 15, and then in SQL Server we have 2016 and 2017 data. Overall, we have 4 years of the data, 2014, 15, 16, 17, and among those 4 years, 2 years data is available in Excel file, and 2 years data is available in SQL Server database. So, right, what we are going to do is we are going to develop a report which is having 4 years of data into the Power BI, combining these Excel and SQL Server database to data. Okay, we need to combine all this data and generate some report, a small report in Power BI, and how we are going to work and everything we are going to see right now. Okay, so let me go to Power BI desktop. Okay, let me showcase to you again. We have 2 years data over here, which is 2015 and 2014, so 14 and 15. And going to SQL Server, let me write okay, year of order date. Okay, and then sorry, distant year, DISTINCT, distant year of order date. So we have 2 years of data over here, that is 2016 and 2017. So overall we have 4 years of data, and 2 years of data is available in Excel file, and 2 years of data is available in SQL Server table. So how we are going to combine these 4 years data together, which we are getting from two different data sources in Power BI. Let's see how we are going to work on this data into the Power BI. So while opening the Power BI, the first step is we are having the data source connections, how we are going to connect the data source, and what are all the different sources we have available in the Power BI. Let's see this. So let me click on more. Okay. So these are all the data sources which is available with the Power BI. So for example, we can get data from Excel, text file, XML, JSON format, folder level, PDF level, okay, SharePoint folder, databases, Access, IBM, Microsoft, MySQL, Teradata, SAP HANA, okay, Amazon Redshift, Google BigQuery. Okay, we have plenty of the data sources which are available in the market. Every data source we can connect with the Power BI reporting. Okay, so in our picture right now, it is first Excel file. Let me go to Excel file and connect. Once we click on the Excel file, it will ask us to locate the Excel file. So we need to select that Excel file and click on open. Okay, it will showcase show us what are all the sheets available in this Excel. See here there is one sheet available. It is 14-15 orders. So these are nothing but these different sheets will be showcased over there as a tables in the Excel, in the Power BI, sorry. So we need to select that particular table and then click on load. Once you click on the load, it will load it to the Power BI. Creating connection model, loading data to that model. Okay, these are the 2-3 steps which is automatically performed by the Power BI. See here 14-15 orders we have got into the Power BI. Okay, and then we do have another data source which is SQL Server. So let's click on the get data and then click on SQL Server, and we need to supply the server details over here. So it is, this is the server name and database name, data miners, and then on OK. Okay, it is asking for the credentials. Credentials. Okay, those credentials correct. Okay, so in data miners we do have only one table, that is order 16-17. Okay, so let's click on this data and then load. So we have two tables which is available in the Power BI. So one is from Excel and one is from SQL Server. So I want to see, okay, my question over here is I want to see all the 4 years sales together. Okay, so how we are going to do that? First of all, see what is happened when we use one table and see what are all the years it is showing. Okay, let me click on one visualization. Okay, when we click on one visual, this visual will be uh, available over here in the visual pane. So once go to the columns, fields, these are all the fields and columns which we are available in the tables. Okay, so I want the order date to be showcased, and I want only the year to be shown in the graph, not quarter, month, day. Okay, so let me remove these things. Okay, only year, and then sales. Drag the sales into the values so that we are available with the sales value over here. If you see here, the numbers and everything will be little low, so we need to go to the formats and we can uh, increase the size of these numbers and everything. Okay, data values, there it is. This is the table, right? X-axis. Okay, and then increase the size of the axis 20. See here we have only 2014-15 data available, because we have taken the data from only one table. Okay, and if we want 16 17 also available on this same table, same graph, we need to do some kind of ETL operations. Okay, where we have discussed over here, that is we are getting data from one file level and one database level data. How we are going to perform the transformations before connecting to the Power BI. Okay, so that step we are going to perform right now. So let me give you a little bit of more clarity. Let me create one more graph over here for 16 17 also. So order date, and then I want only year over here, and then sales. So see here it is 16 and 17. We are only able to see 16 17 14 15 14 15 16 17 in the different graphs, because we have data in two different multiple sources. Okay, so how we are going to combine those two sources means we need to go to transform data. This is a very important step in the Power BI, guys. So uh, if we are working with this step means it is known as Power Query Editor. Okay, so it is known as Power Query Editor. Here we are able to create parameters. Okay, do whatever the manipulations, whatever the transformations we want to do on the data level. We can create multiple columns, we can rename, we can change the order of the columns, we can change the data types of the columns, and everything will be done over here. If you notice here, every column is having one kind of 1 2 3 option over here, and ABC, date, okay, and ABC. Okay, Power BI is having some kind of intelligence. When Power BI connect with some data, it automatically define the data types to the data. Okay, if it is not defined, for example, if we want this to be convert to another data type, so we can click over here and then convert this to date. For example, it is available on the date. Okay, but I want date time over here. So if I convert to date time, it will convert to date time. Okay, so and whatever the transformation options we are performing over here, every step, each and every step will be loaded over here. Okay, see here, for example, ship mode type. See, nothing is available over here. The change type is the last step which we have performed. Okay, and I am renaming a column over here. So click on enter. See here, renamed a column. Okay, so the transformations which we are performing over here will be noted down step by step over here every time we perform something. So when we perform something and click on close and apply over here, these steps will be affected on the data. So every time when we get fresh data into the Power BI, okay, Power BI will capture data from the data sources and then apply all these steps to the data. Then only the data would be supplied to the visualizations. Okay, this is how these transformations will be noted down. And the option which we are going to discuss over here is combine these two data sets. So let me remove these two steps which I have performed. Okay, so the data is like this. So we have an option called append queries. Okay, append queries means if we click on this option, it will append 16 17 into 14 15. Or if we click on append queries as a new means, it will create a new data set. Okay, combination of these two data sets, it will create data set 3. Okay, the first table is 2014-15 orders, and the second table is orders 2016-17. Okay, and then click on OK. It will create a query called append 1. Information required about data, continue. Okay, this is C something something, this public, save. So here it is. See here, on order date, we have 14 and 15 data over here. So whatever it is, okay, sorry, so it is not able to filter over here. So in append query, we have 2015 data available, 14 data available. If we go down, we do have 16 17 data also available over here. So however we create the graph, we will know it is having all the data. So let me rename this thing, um, 14 15 16, 17.
Anil, apologies
Yeah.
to just wanted to know. Suppose the columns are not in the same order.
Okay.
Will Power BI arrange this data in that master arrange the data in proper orders as per the column headers of the first main table or no?
Uh, no, actually, it is a like SQL Server unional option. So the columns and everything would be same in append prospective. Okay, we do have merge queries. These merge queries will do the option which you have said. Okay, merge queries will what it will do means it will act like a joins. We are getting multiple columns from multiple tables. Okay, so this option will perform at your situation. For the appending option, we need to have all the column names and everything. Sorry, all the columns should be equal columns. For example, in table 1 we have 10 columns, means table 2 also we need to have 10 columns. If it is organized not in a sequence manner, we can organize those things over here. Like for example, it went over here means we can do we can organize the columns front and back, and then process the append option. Okay.
Yes, got it. Thank you.
Okay. So we have renamed order 14, 15, 16, 17, and then close and apply. Every time we need to click on close and apply. So we do have one more table created over here.
Anil, just a quick question.
Yes.
Can you just repeat how you went to Power Query from the Power BI desktop?
Okay. So here it is. We have transform data option over here. So when we click on this option, it will go to the Power Query editor.
Sorry, I missed that step. Thank you.
I'm sorry. Can you please repeat?
No, I just missed the time you were doing it. I missed that step. So thank you for
Okay.
repeating.
It's okay. It's okay. Not an issue. Okay, so like this we can go to the thing. So let me create another page. So we have orders over here 14, 15, 16, 7, which we have performed some kind of ETL operation over there. And then let me go to see here. If you see here, nothing is available over here. Data types is not defined. See here, this is the data type. It is summarized, it is order date, and it is postal code. It is also summarized. Okay, profit, it is also number, quantity number, row id number, sale, the number, measure it is, and it is date. But coming over here, the query which we have appended, it is not defined any kind of data type. Okay, so at that situation we need to go to the transform data again, and then we need to select the data types. What are all the data, what is the data, and what is the data type of the data. Okay, see here, this is sorry, one, not 1.2, this is a whole number. Okay, uh, replace current. Okay, and then it is ABC. Okay, order date, it is date function date. Okay, and ship date also, it is date. Okay, so like this, when we are performing some kind of ETL options, we need to select the data types also. This sale amount is decimal number. Okay, see, like the way. So interest, I have converted only some of the columns because which we are using right now into the Power BI. Okay, so see here, the data type is defined. So let's click on this order date and then select the graph and sales amount. See here, now we are able to pull all the 4 years data together through this transformation. Okay, this is how we are working on the Power BI transformations. So ETL also included, the transformations and everything will be included into the Power BI. So major work, why we are included this step in the demo class means, okay, mainly organizations, multiple organizations will use different tools to organize this kind of data. Okay, so nowadays people are mainly concentrating over here, what are all the options available over here in the transformations Power Query editor. So mainly people, the organizations are concentrating over here and do performing different activities in the transformations level. Okay, that is why we have included one step into the demo class. Okay, so let's go to the sample dashboard making. So as an organization, how we are making some kind of simple graph. Let's start with the designing. So it will take 10 to 15 minutes. Okay. So we have a PowerPoint presentation window. So in this PowerPoint presentation window, we need to create some kind of blocks like this. So, so just a designing. So just see these things. Will be like this. Okay. And we are going to perform some kind of blocks over here. Insert. Okay. This is a background. Okay. So my Power BI report need to have this kind of background, so that I will have more understanding about the reporting and everything. So here the first thing is have need to have the logo and the title, and the second block is only for the filters, to maintain the filters, and third block is to maintain all the graphs which I want. Okay, so let me save this template. So in real time also we are going to create some kind of backgrounds like this. So save as. Okay. JPEG, and then go to desktop. Okay, so this slide will be created as an image over here. Presentation one, see. So this is image over here. So how we are going to take this image as a page background over here, let's see. So once we click on the page, we have format options, and then page background. Okay, add image, zero transparency, and it should be fit, so that I have a good background of my dashboard. Okay, first point one, I need to add a title to the dashboard. I want text box. Okay, and I'm going to Superstores dashboard. So select all this and increase the size to the limit which we want, or font type, whatever it is. Okay, and then remove the bold option, and this background should be off, so that take this to it higher. And the size, it should be white. Okay, it would be more effective. Okay, so this is how. And we need to pull one logo also over here. So let me copy some logo from the internet. So let me open Amazon, open a new tab. Okay, so any kind of image, depends upon our organization, they will provide the images and everything. So we need to get the logo also over here. And the filters which we required over here, we required a filter called first we need to select the data set, the table. So we have three tables over here. the combined data is available, the consolidated data is available over here. So I want the city filter to be added over here. That is, I want a slicer to be added, and it is city. Okay, and then I want this to be a drop down. Okay, so let's make this like this, and then move it over here in the drop down, place it over here so that it will be look good. And state. So let me do some kind of thing, Control C, Control V, and then we can change this value, the state. Okay, it would be on the same, and then region. Okay, so I want these three filters to be uh, uh, in my dashboard. Okay, and then next step, my visualizations. Okay, I want one visualization, one donut chart to be
Uh,
showcased to. Yes, please.
I just want to ask, are these filters coming from the appended table or
Appended table only. Yes,
from the
appended
appended?
table. Yeah, that is
Thank
why
you.
we need to pick the columns, pick the fields, pick the attributes from the appended table only. This is the appended table 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, if we click on that filter, particular filter which we have created, it will showcase the yellow mark over here where we got that field from. So this is the field, and we got it from orders 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay,
Thank you.
like this. Yep. So everything we need to, while we are creating this page, everything we need to pick from consolidated appended data set only. Okay, so I want a category to be showcased over here, and sales. What are all the sales performed on our category level? This is one graph over here, and then subcategory level sales and profits also. So see here, let me delete this. Okay, so when I click on the field directly, it will defaultly take the table visual. Okay, so these are all the visuals available in the Power BI, different visuals. So we can get more visuals from the Power BI visual stores also. So that depends upon our situation, what is the requirement and everything. So this is automatically when I click on the column or field, it will take the table. Whenever we click on that particular table and select any other graph, okay, it will automatically get converted into that particular graph. See here, we don't have any measures given to this graph, that's why it is showing blank. So we need to supply some measures. So I want sales and profit also to be given. See, profit, it went to legend, but I want profit to be in the sale. Okay, see here what happened. It is, see here, note guys, notice here. See, when I click on the sales, it taken sales into the values, and sales is automatically taken sum. Okay, when I click on profit, okay, or drag profit into the sales, it automatically taken count. Why it got taken count means, see here, sales, it is automatically, we have given data type as decimal. Okay, we have told Power BI sales is a decimal data type, you can summarize that. But at the profit level, we have not defined any kind of data type, it is a text level. That is why it is getting counted. Okay, so when we click on the profit, we have an option over here, summarize. We have don't summarize. If we click on the summarize means, see, we don't have summarize option over here. So we need to convert this data type to be a decimal number. Okay, once you convert this data type to decimal number, you will get this automatically converted. See, we got sigma symbol over here, and when I reuse this profit, it will automatically taken, and it is taken sum, not a count. Okay, so how our subcategories is performing profit level and sale level, both the options which we are showcasing over here. Okay, see here, when we enlarge this sheet, okay, we have negative profits over here. See, on tables, we are having minus 17,000, sorry, minus 17,725 profits. Okay, we are not getting any amount on that particular thing. Okay, like this we are going to showcase to the business. Okay, let me include the small graph over here also. So let me go to we can create measures also, which is very much important, DAX functionalities into the Power BI. Okay, so every language will have every tool will have particular language. For example, Tableau use the SQL server functions, basic SQL functions which we are using. Okay, like the way SQL Server database use SQL language, structure query language. It is developed to the structure query language. While we are communicating with the SQL Server database tables, like these are the SQL Server database table, we are using this language. It is structured query language. It is known as. Okay, we are writing queries using structured query language. Like the way, while we are developing something into the Power BI, okay, while we are developing something into Power BI, we are going to communicate with the Power BI tables or Power BI calculations through DAX functionalities. Okay, data analytic expressions. Okay, so this is a major part of the Power BI. So it is little bit of complexities, but it is not 100% of programming kind of thing. If we compare the DAX functionalities with Java and .NET, it would be mostly 5 to 10% of entire .NET, okay, code, which 5 to 10% of programming if we compare to .NET. Okay, so it is very little bit of programming, like if conditions, okay, sum, count, min, max, sum x, okay, different situation, different calculations we are using. So I will write down one small DAX function, furniture underscore sales. Okay, so I want to calculate only furniture sales. Okay, and showcase that in a card. Okay, how I am calculating? Calculate sum of sales. See here, when I type sales, we are getting sales from three different tables. From which table we are working on? We are working on orders 14, 15, 16, 17 sales. Okay, so close, comma, category 14, 15, 16, 17 category equal to furniture. This is how we are going to write a DAX functionalities. Okay, when I click on enter, it will calculate only furniture sales. Okay, see here, the field was created over here. So let me go to a card. Okay, a card got displayed over here, and then when I click on furniture sales, it is showing 74200K. Okay, see here, it is also 742. Sorry, there is furniture, right? Yeah, 742. Like it is rounded in the card, it got rounded, and here it is 741.99. Okay, so when we are applying something over here, when I select technology, see here, it won't change. It will be populated, the rest of the graphs will be filtered or highlighted, but the calculation which I have created, it won't be changed. It will be freezed at the furniture level only. Okay, like that. So this is a small kind of graph which we have created. Okay, let me save this graph. Sample. Okay, so file, save, demo. Okay, PIBX format I have saved. Okay, so it got saved. So we have created some small visual. Okay, we have applied some filters and everything, named something, and we have created logo. So how we are going to supply this to end user? So we need to publish this to Power BI applications, so that we can share this dashboard to the end users. So we have publish option over here. While we click on the publish, we will get automatically populated the workspaces which we have. So this is our data miners organizations workspace, development, prod, QA, and some different workspace. So we are going to publish this into the production workspace, Power BI workspace. Okay, select. Okay, it got published. Okay, got it. So I'm not going to click on that link which is populated. We will directly go to the app.powerbi. Sorry guys, I have disconnected from myself. Really sorry. So am I audible?
Yeah, Anil, you are audible. You can.
We can go to app.powerbi like this. So Power BI service, this Power BI application known as also Power BI application. So app.powerbi.com. So once we click on this, so it will automatically show our Microsoft account. So once we click on this, it will route to the Power BI application. So this is how the Power BI application will look like. The work which we have generated, work which we have created in the Power BI desktop tool will be published over here. Okay, we do have different workspaces over here. So this is a Power BI prod. This is the premium workspace. It is defined with a diamond symbol. It is premium. It is normal workspace. So premium workspace will be maintained by the Microsoft, and we need to pay for that. What do we say? How much data we have used. Like for example, 10 GB data we have used means we need to pay for the 10 GB data. Like that, we need to Microsoft will charge for that. So this is the dashboard which we have published. See here, this is a report, this is a data set, and data minus prod, this is the owner, and the time which we have published over here. So while we have published one report, why these two files got created? Okay, see here, one is report, another one is data set. Okay, while we have combined, we have connected two tables, one is from Excel, one is from SQL Server, and one transformed table which is Excel and SQL Server consolidated data. Okay, these entire data activities, entire data will be stored in one data set, that is this red color demo, sorry, orange color demo data set. Okay, all the data is available in this data set, and the report part, the visualization part will be available in this data, sorry, in this report. Okay, so let's click on this report. So this is how the report will be look like to the end user. So while we are sharing this report, we want to share this report to someone means we need to click on share, embedded report, web portal link. Okay, this is the link, and then we need to give this, pass this link to the end users so that they will log in from their machines and they will see. The end user will look, the dashboard will be look like this to the end user. Okay, so if we have more pages created over here, the pages will be showcased over here. Okay, and we can they can select the filters, whatever the filter it is. Based on that filter, it will be refreshed. Okay, like this, the Power BI will be placing a major part of analytics in the organizations. Okay, so this is how we deal with the Power BI, and we do have so many options available over here. We can create Power BI apps to the Power BI. For example, if we have this kind of app, this is development data miners app which we have already created. So all the dashboards available in our what do we say, workspace will be showcased over here in an app level. So for example, as an organization, we are having 50 members or 50 people over here in the organization level. So for our 50 people, we want to access all the dashboards which is available in this particular workspace. So for our 50 people, we can create an app called data miners app. Okay, so that app will be shared to our 50 people amount. So all the dashboards developed available over here will be showcased on this app. So see here, this is a different kind of filter. So whenever we click on some particular company or asset it is, so it will filter like this. Okay, so how each and every product is performing on the year level and subcategory level or company level, organization level, like this. So these are the some kind of dashboards which we have performed. Okay, so this is an app. Okay, so that is all about my side. So if you have any questions, please.
Yeah. Is it possible to integrate the Python with Power BI?
Yes. So actually, we are not able to integrate all the Python options, but we do have Python code. See here, if we have this Python visual over here, so we need to enable Python over here. So if we write some code over here, means the visuals or the analysis which we have done on the Python will be displayed over here as a content, as a container. See, this
So
is a
we can
Python.
use the same data set to analyze the data.
Yes.
Okay. So any certifications will be we can attend after this course for Microsoft.
Yes, we do have a couple of certifications, but one certification got expired, and right now which is available is 1 second, BA 100 Power BI. Yeah, this is the one which currently Microsoft is providing the certification. Analyzing data with Microsoft Power BI. This is the only certification if you want to do with the Power BI, means this is the only certification is available currently.
Okay, my question is, we have integrate with a SQL server. So if any data updated in SQL server, so it automatically reflect on a report, or we need to do any configuration for that?
Yeah, we need to do configurations. Like for
Okay.
example, here I have shown you the data set, right? So
Yes.
let me go to workspace. Okay, so here, so in this data set we have multiple options like come on, 1 second, let me yeah, here. So we have settings, so schedule refresh. Okay, so when you click on the schedule refresh, and we can refresh these dashboards, we can schedule these dashboards whatever the time we want to schedule. For example, every day it want to schedule at 5:30 p.m. Okay, normally US people log in at 5:30, so US business will start at 5:30. So before 5:30 the dashboard need to be refreshed every day. So those kind of options we need to select over here.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, if you provide the time, means it will automatically refresh at that time.
Okay.
Guys, any other question?
Anil, can you go to the presentation, please?
Okay. Okay. Yes.
The Power BI presentation. Yeah. Not over here. The published one.
Okay. Published one. Okay. Yeah. Yes.
So over here, I was getting the option that I was seeing the option of export.
Okay. Okay.
So does it mean that the data, the raw data that is behind this particular source will get exported, or only this chart?
Okay. So this graph is this particular visual is at category level. This is at subcategory level. So if I export this data, so only subcategory level, only particular visual level data will be exported. Only this export, this level. Okay. See here. It won't export entire dashboard level. It will export only single chart level data.
Okay. So for every chart, it would be at same level, depending on the chart how it is being designed.
Yes, yes. See, here it is designed as a bar chart, but in an exported file, it is showcased as the numbers, like a summarized pivot numbers we have in Excel, right? So like that, it will show.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yep, anytime.
Tool here.
Sorry, I'm the voice got disturbed. Can you please repeat the question?
Is Power Query act as ETL here?
We can't say 100% ETL, but the operations performed through ETL options. Okay, we can perform 70 to 80% of ETL operations over here directly. Yes, we can say at the Power BI perspective, it will act like ETL, extract, transforming, and load.
Extracts and transformation only, right? Now, right.
Okay, so I just have a question that how many data connection we can set, like how many data source we can get into the Power BI. Like you said, there are multiple options to get into the Power Query.
Yeah.
So if we try to list out how many data sources we can.
So, for example, we have plenty of the data bases available, and we can pull from different sources. But at one for particular report, it is we don't have that much of limitation that we need to bring data from only 5 data sources. There is no limitation like that. For example, if we have 20 tables from 20 different data sources, we can pull it from 20 data sources, and then we need to maintain proper relationship over here in the relationship window on those tables. See here, these tables doesn't have any relationship because these are the only same tables. Okay, if we have different tables, means we need to create a relationship between these two. For example, see here, order ID. So I need to make a relationship between these two order IDs. Okay, order ID, many to many relationship both sides. So okay, so a relationship will be, a line will be built in between these two. See here, like this. So while you are pulling the tables from different data sources, for example 10 different tables from 10 different data sources, whether we can append those things on one table, or if we have different data, for example a common relationship employee and department table. Okay, so department number and will be the common column for the employee and department table. Okay, so for that situation, we need to make a relationship between those 10 tables which we have pulled. Okay, every time ETL won't work over here, we can directly maintain a relationship between those 10 tables, and we can create a data model for this. Okay, there is no limitations on that.
I think
I
somebody
have
was
one
asking a
question.
question.
For example, I have an Excel file, so that contains the orders. So I'm bringing into the Power BI and linking with on SQL Server table.
Okay.
So, but that order, Excel order is changing every day, right? I'm going to upload that one. Will it be taken care by that Power BI or anything? Is it possible?
Yes, good question. So let me, are you able to see my screen, right?
Yeah.
See, so this is the order which we have today, for example. So when I am changing the order, see here, one step got reordered columns. Okay, see. Okay, so and then what I have done is I have renamed city to city underscore. Okay, so it got renamed column, and then I have rearranged state in front of city. Okay, see here, first one step is reordered, renamed, and reordered. Okay, so while when you supplied some Excel sheet, this Excel sheet is having different type of column order. Okay, so this is the order, for example. Okay, it is not moving. So when we provide different order to this Power BI, so what it will do, it will connect the source first, it will navigate, it will promote headers, and then reorder the columns like how you have built in the Power BI. Okay, these all steps applied onto that Power BI, sorry, on the data first, and then the data should be supplied to the visuals. It automatically do, Power BI will automatically do those things.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Anil, I have a question. So, for example, we are connected to an Excel and we are connected to the SQL server. What if one of the columns in the Excel, is renamed? What will
Okay.
happen then? How do we resolve that?
Okay, so for example, when we connect to Excel, okay, so this is an Excel file. So this order ID got changed to order number. Okay,
Yeah.
so when it got changed to order number, it will throw, when the refresh is happened, it will throw an error. Okay, over here. So we need to go to the source first, and then select that column. Okay, so not source, navigation, I think. Okay, we need to go to navigation, and then we need to select the sheet again. Okay, when we select that sheet again, it will rebuild the new structure over here, new metadata over here, and then we need to perform all these steps again.
Okay.
Okay, it won't take the columns automatically. See here, when I go to source, it is different. When I come to navigation, see, row, column 1, column 2, column 3, row IDs, row names, column names also included into the data. Okay, and then if I click on promoted headers, it will vent the headers was promoted at the column name level. Okay, so the steps, each and every step will be followed one by one. In your case, what you have asked, the column name got changed means the structure, the metadata need to be updated over here in the Power BI. Rather updating the Power BI, open that Excel file and update that order number to order ID so that everything will be clear.
Correct.
Yeah.
And
And
last point, that is just sorry for the disturbance. So just want to showcase to the people how we are going to cover. So guys,
Sure.
SQL is very, very, very important at the Power BI perspective. But whenever we are going to work on the visualizations, we are getting data from the databases only. So most commonly used database all over the world is SQL, structured query language. So if we are going to Oracle, SQL Server, MySQL, Azure Data, or AWS, everywhere SQL is included. So that is why we took SQL Server, Microsoft SQL Server as a training. So we have included all these topics, okay, in our 10 years of, or my 7 years, that is 13 years of career. These are the mainly used SQL programming functions in the Power BI while we are connecting with some kind of reporting tool. These are all the things which we have faced. Okay, these are the issues which we have faced. These are the complex areas where we are having some kind of challenges while we are connecting to the Power BI. So this is not like a course content. We do have course content, but we have noted this, like whenever we get the problem, we used to note the problems like this. Okay, so we are going to cover all this SQL content first, and then after completion of the SQL content, we are going to Power BI basic and advanced. Okay, so basic and advanced, these things see, so these are all the small topics which is available to us. So these are the basic ones. Once we completed the basic ones, we will go to the advanced topics. This is advanced. So mostly all the topics will be covered which is available on the basic, but we do have some kind of pivoting, unpivoting, advanced level topics where more transformations, more ETLs included over here, okay, will be available in the advanced level. So the course need to be carried like step by step way. First we learn SQL, and then basic Power BI. We have good basic knowledge on the Power BI. Then we are going to advanced ETL operations, transformations in the Power BI. Okay, it will go like this. So we are going to cover all these 3 course contents which I have showcased to you. Okay, so that is how the course will be go. Yeah, Sati.
What is the duration of this course?
Sati?
Yeah, it will be, see, the total duration in hours, I would say it is around 35 to 40 hours. And but the way we are planning, because we are going to have only weekend classes, right? So weekend, Saturday and Sunday. What we have done, like the maximum duration would be of 2 months. Within 2 months, we need to complete all the topics what Anil was showing over here. So every weekend, it is not necessarily that we'll meet like every Saturday or Sunday. It is not necessarily that we meet for 2 hours. We can extend that session to 2 to 3 or up to 4 hours, because we need to complete all these topics within 2 months.
Okay. Can we have a list of these topics which you're going to cover in training?
Yes, so we can share the content around it. We can share the topic list. Yeah.
Okay.
You can just drop your email address here so we can share that.
Okay.
So I have a question around the classes. If someone is missed due to some personal emergency, so are we having a provision to record and distribute in that case?
Yes, so what we are doing is, like, primarily we are recording all the sessions, and everybody like who is part of the batch will be given access to one of the shared drives what we have, and we keep all the recordings there. Not only just the recording, other than that, if Anil has some reading material or some books related to Power BI, SQL Server, we place those there so that you can utilize that reading content as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mostly the files and PIBX files which we create in the class, right? So we do share those things also.
Oh, recording video will be shared?
Yes.
I have a question. Will a data set be provided to sort of practice when we're not in the class? Can we connect to a sample somewhere and practice what has been taught?
Yeah, so what we have planned, like for the entire course, like the major activities what we are going to cover, that will include around 4 assignments, 4 small assignments. So we'll be sharing the problem statement, we will share, the sample data, and basis that you need to submit the assignment, right? So that will include your practice on analytics side, that will include your practice on data visualization, and how you're going to kind of create dashboards. That will also be covered as a part of those small projects. Okay, sorry. In case you are speaking, you can unmute yourself. So this course, I mean, we are planning to start from the very next weekend. Saturday, we will have our first class so that, we can, finish it within 2 months.
Okay.
Yeah, we will have this one, a week's time wherein there are few people who are not able to join today, so they can, be part of the classes from the very next weekend. Yeah. So basically, this is not the first batch. We have been running couple of batches on different other training programs. So you can visit our website also regarding, different other courses related to Power BI, SQL, ETL specifically, whether it is Alteryx, SSIS, then things on, Python, R. We do have, courses related to, cloud, and then something related to communication. Other than that, we have, specifically testing related, courses also, wherein we go through manual testing or automated testing. All that kind of, will be trainings are provided through data miners, right? Other than that, I mean, if you really want to, go through some of the, courses or the prior, sessions or demos, then you can visit us on our YouTube channel. That is, I mean, we have, a couple of courses what we have done in past. So hope that answers whether it is the first batch or like we have been running from, couple of years.
So, what will be the fee structure for this particular course?
Right. So the total fee for this entire course, what we have kept, I mean, that is around $150. So if you are in India, it's around 10,000, or if it is like for the people across the border, it is $150. So that is equivalent.
Is there any limit in batch, like 20 people, 50 people in one group?
It's going to be around 15 people per
Okay.
batch. Yeah. Any other question, guys?
No, thank you.
Yeah. All right. So I have already shared the email address. I'll just put it again in the chat window. Or the mobile number. You can connect this. This number is on WhatsApp too. So you can connect on this number as well. All right, guys. Thanks. Thank you so much for joining this. We'll see you soon. Yeah. Thanks, Anil.
Yeah, thanks, Ati. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Happy learning.